Ready?
Okay, starting now. Give it 5 seconds at least.
Well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the June
Okay, starting
18th,
now. Give it 5 seconds at least.
2000. Say again? Should I start over?
I think someone's TV or monitoring devices has the volume up too high and your microphone's picking it up.
Okay, I'm going to, let's see if I can find the one
I can
from
see this on YouTube. We're on.
Okay, well, here we are on June the 18th, 2022. Once again, I'm back, and we're all back. We're all not exactly on our usual time schedule, but the Chicago TI user group is on the air once again. Let me quickly run through who's here. Jim Mazurek, our chief engineer, and Victor Stirrup, the president of the organization, is here. And I think that if everybody knows what we're going to do, we'll get into it right away without further ado. Vic, take it away.
Okay. Sure, Hal. As promised from last month, we're going to be running through Craig Miller's software. I think that's a nice theme to do for this year. We're going to be running the Night Mission program. There we go. And this is the original disc I bought in 1984, 1985. Still works fine. And what Night Mission is a video game involving tanks and helicopters, just like some stuff all over the world. And it comes with this rather thick booklet that's a tutorial. So just like last month where we went through a simple smart programming guide for sprites that had all sorts of different routines and algebraic formulas he had for running them, we're going to select disk 1, the load program, and there's Night Mission. Now there's two programs on here, Night Mission joystick and Night Mission keyboard. We're going to run number 1 using the number 1 joystick. Now the other TI helicopter versus tanks game, or rather than versus, is MASH, where you can play the rescue stranded soldiers off a battlefield. Now you notice how this uses Craig Miller's routine of always hitting your target. So this pesky tank is very well if you ever pause for a second or get too low, he comes and gets you. Now this helicopter can climb, descend, fly left and right. The only thing it can't do is hover, and I sort of wondered about that, on why you can't do that. But the simplest way of doing this, of playing this game, is to start coming down and stay on one side of the screen, and it takes the tank it takes the time it takes the tank time to actually there. So you've got to bait them into one side of the screen. And sort of hover around here. And the tank operator is very good with either his cannon to shoot you out of the sky or his machine gun. Yeah, play again, yes, no. That's a screen I frequently see when I play these games. So that's briefly, that's how you don't want to play Night Mission, because the idea is to succeed. I don't think I've ever picked up all 3 or all 5 stranded armed forces personnel and rescued them to see what the next screen's like. We'll break this. I'll give it a list. There we go. So here's line 10, the first line in the program. And it's typical stuff you saw last month on the Smart Programming Guide for Sprites. Everything's listed here on the first line. Call magnify 3, that's the size of the sprites. Call screen 2, makes the screen black. Go to 30, okay, it skips up line 20. Here's all his routines he puts at the beginning of the program, which is good programming technique, because that way the computer has already defined these and doesn't have to try to figure out what you're asking for when you do these individual calls. Okay, so here's line 20. Again, here's all these calls, but since we've skipped over it, the computer sees these, it knows them, but it's not trying to run them. So you got variables x, y, y1, yy, v, t, call position, call pattern, call sprite, call del sprite, call coincidence, call motion, call locate. And here's line 3. E string equals a bunch of zeros, T string equals E string plus 0, 0, 0. So this seems rather abstruse. So we'll open up the book. And in it, Mr. Miller says, the cassette that comes with this book contains 5 programs on it, 2 on the cassette side for cassette-based systems, and 3 on the diskette side for disk-based systems. Well, I bought this, it was already on the disk, but it did include the cassette programs. So we've already loaded it because there's a program named load that does it. And your mission is to rescue as many men as possible from the hostile enemy territory and bring them safely to the ship waiting offshore. This is a covert action. You'll be working entirely on your own. If you should get caught, we will disallow any knowledge of your actions. The territory is fully protected by enemy tanks, rockets, jet planes, and choppers. Your chopper can only hold 5 men at a time, so you will have to make a number of trips to the ship. The first trip will be fairly easy, but on the following trips, they will be aware of your presence and they will try harder to stop you. Whoops. Looks like I'm editing the program here. Let's do a directory on disk number 1. So we got the load program, Night Mission Joy cassette, Night Mission key, and Night Mission key cassette. Excuse me. So we'll reload it. Yeah. Line 10, line 20. Line 30. Okay. Try to keep the book off the keyboard this time. Okay, the tank screen. This screen has an enemy tank rolling along the bottom of the screen just above the closed missile silos. Your helicopter will come into play from the left-hand edge of the screen above the hills on a starry, moonlit night. When you land on the ground, a man will come running out from the left-hand edge of the screen toward the helicopter. When he reaches your chopper, he will climb aboard and your chopper will lift off. After you have picked up your fifth man, you'll move on to the next screen. Watch out for the enemy's tanks since it can shoot down your chopper, but you can also shoot back to protect yourself and the man on the ground. When the chopper has landed on the ground, don't let it get too close or it will destroy the chopper and the man. On this screen, the keyboard version uses the arrow keys, ESDX, to move your chopper in the appropriate direction, and the V key to fire your lasers when you are in the air. The E or up key will also lift your chopper off the ground after it has landed. In the joystick version, all four directions are active on the number 1 joystick, and they will move your chopper in the appropriate direction. The diagonals are also active, but they react as a left and right motion. The fire button will fire your lasers when you are in the air. Levels. The order in which the other screens come up is determined by the number of successful trips you have made. Each time you successfully deliver 5 men to the ship, the level of difficulty will increase. The difficulty is increased by adding more screens for you to go through before reaching the ship and by increasing the speed of the tank, planes, and rockets. The order of the screens on each level is as follows. First level, tank screen, ship screen. See, I've never gotten to the ship screen because I've never managed to actually get 5 guys on the chopper. Second level, tank screen, enemy rockets or planes, randomly chosen, ship screen. Third and up, tank screen, enemy rockets or planes, enemy choppers, and ship screen. So the ship screen, well, I haven't gotten there yet. On this screen, there is an offshore ship waiting for you to deliver the men in your chopper. The ship will be moving at a random speed from left to right. Your job is to gently land your chopper on the landing platform on the rear of the ship. If you land too hard or land on any other part of the ship, it will sink and all hands will be lost, and so will all points you have accumulated for the men you previously delivered. If you touch the water, your helicopter will sink and you will not receive any points for a safe delivery. Unlike the first screen in which you have 1 forward and 1 reverse speed for your helicopter, on this screen you have 3 forward and 3 reverse speeds. Tip: lower your chopper until it is about level with the landing platform, and then ease into the landing ship from the rear. In the keyboard version, the arrow keys, ESDX, are active. E will make you fly up and X will make you fly down. S and D will change your reverse or forward velocity. In the joystick version, all 4 directions are active. Okay. Enemy planes. I'll get back to this, but let's get to the program definitions of where he actually is a tutorial. So on page 8, starts with the power of AND. One of the most powerful and versatile functions in Extended Basic and many other languages is the logical expression of AND. Unfortunately, it has also been one of the least explained functions. In the TI Extended Basic Manual, they devote all of 2.5 confusing pages to the logical expressions of AND, OR, XOR, and NOT. This is also true for most of the other computers' basic manuals. So a few years back, we decided to find out all we could on this mysterious, unexplained function. After much research and a number of books on Boolean algebra and Boolean logic, we ended up more confused than we began, since most of the material did not deal with the subject on a computer level. Well, now it is time to tackle this subject on a purely experimental basis with Extended Basic. After many weeks of testing, trying, discovering, and failing, the answers finally became understandable and explainable in plain English. So now we would like to share our understanding of the use of "and" on direct numbers with you. And so he goes to explain very carefully the use of "and" different combinations of logic in using "and" on the bottom of page 8, all of page 9, and all of page 10. So then on page 11, he goes through the program. And he goes on, here's a program you can type in to demonstrate it. This is not the program Night Mission. This is a demonstration program to teach you how to use and how to use call key and various inputs and outputs. Page 15, he has pictures. I'll post this booklet online on either the YouTube page or on the ChicagoTIUG user group Facebook page for the Dropbox accounts. You can download a PDF of it. So he goes the space character, solid block character for foreground, top of the water, closed and open missile silo, tank fire sprites. The image changes as the shell moves. And he defines all the other different ones that could redefine 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sprites number 60, 61, 62, 63 are the man running, planes and rockets, ship and enemy chopper sprites. Well, you can use the same sprites over again with different definitions for the patterns.
Like pink elephants.
Yeah, because you don't have the same, you don't have any two of these on the screen at the same time. Just like Superman and Clark Kent. You got a plane screen, a rocket screen, a ship screen, enemy chopper. So he gets all the different pictures here. He's explaining most carefully. Like here, the helicopter, backwards and forwards, is sprite 104, 105, 106, 107. And he goes, oh, here, the sprite colors are 13, 13, 13, and 13. So the sprite is all one color, that medium green. So here he gets into the variables on page 20, where he describes everything there. And now we get into the game, the program flow. There are many ways to program the computer to do essentially the same task. Some ways are faster and or they use up less RAM than others. What we hope to accomplish is to show you some of the tricks and methods we have found that work quite well for reducing program space and improving the execution speed of your program. The Night Mission program took approximately 7 months to write, with its many revisions and improvements. Our main objective with this program would be to write multiple screen game that would be fun for all ages to play. It would also have to incorporate extensive use of sprites, animation, graphics, sound effects, and of course lots of color and action. Our challenge was to do it all in Extended Basic without the use of expansion memory and to maintain a fast response time to joystick and keyboard inputs. Well, you remember last month on our Smart Programming Guide for Sprites, everything was on combining multiple lines of statements into one line that executes quicker. And he had some rather convoluted algebraic formula for doing all that. Well, we are proud to say it once again on the TI home computer has showed how powerful it can be with the right program structure and proper use of its built-in subprograms. So let's see how the home computer reacts to the various program statements that all came together. And so it goes on to explain what the following pages are, their purpose, and for you to read through it. So lines 10 to 10 is initialization and title screen. I think what I need to do is go through the part of the program with 810 to 1020, the tank screen routines, and remove the tank firing missiles or machine guns at the at the helicopter. Okay, so we've gone through this. Line 10. Clear the screen, set the sprite magnification to 3, 4 regular size characters per sprite. Change the screen color to black, go to start, jump over the following items that were placed here for a rapid pre-scan. 20, these items are also here for a rapid pre-scan. 3, okay, we're line 30. We're here at line 30, and set up E, T, and S strings. Oh, I see I've touched a key once again here. I'm sorry. I'll reload the program. It's a problem when you have the program in edit mode. Line 20, line 30. Okay. E string equals 000, etc. Okay, set up E, T, and S strings as 8, 12, and 16 zeros for the call characters to follow. Define characters 132, Control D, 133, Control E, 134, Control F, and 135, Control G. It's unlikely anybody will ever press the Control key and a letter key when typing in a program. So don't forget, you actually got like a third character set here, the Control and G's, to get you up to these higher number characters. And set the uppercase character colors to gray on transparent and turn off the pre-scan, which if you ever ran a program called pre-scan it would automatically go through your program and pre-scan, no matter where all your variables were, and it would pre-scan it. But it was like the pre-scan command here is exclamation point, @ symbol, capital P, and plus. And to turn off pre-scan, exclamation point, @ symbol, capital P, and minus turns it off. Okay, line 40. Quote, space, colon, space, space, S string equals E, $, and E, $. Okay, what that does is define character 47 as the copyright symbol for the title screen. Character 33 is a solid foreground character for all screens, but the enemy chopper screen. Character 34 is the top of the water for the ship screen. Character 35 is the closed missile silos for the tank screen. And characters 112, 113, 114, and 15 are for our forward flying chopper sprite. It's where he's leaning to the top is leaning to the right. Okay. Line 100, A string equals A string and quotation mark, and a whole bunch of stuff that's not really comprehensible. Display the top part of the title screen, display bottom part of the title screen. Now there is something on the screen to let the computer go on with the rest of the initialization of the characters. Define characters, start setting up A string as the hills. So this is your, yeah, we're already out of the 100. Finish setting up A string as the hills for the tank screen. Note, if you use strings wherever possible to display your screens, they will display much faster than HChar. So let's run this. See what happens if you try running the game itself without running load first, which sets up all this stuff.
Without redefining the character sets.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So when it broke it, all this stuff got redefined.
I don't know, it's visually interesting in and of itself.
Hang on. I gotta have caps turned on. Okay, so here you can see how we've got line 40, line 50, display at 5.3, night mission, press 1 for joystick. Copyright notice. Here we are. So line 100 was go sub 290. Display at. All right, here line 180, about halfway down the screen for you folks. For x equals 1 to 30, randomize call peek. Okay, so he gets to peek in the memory and he can do all sorts of tricks with call peeks. But let's run this. There we go. So I think what I want to do is I want to get to line 860 so I can get rid of that part with the tank shooting at me all the time. And he never misses. If that tank gun fires, it's going to take the chopper down. I've never seen it miss. So anyway, we're at page 28 in a book that's 90 pages. And I'm not going to read through every page here. But he goes to the definitions of every screen, what every line of code in the program does. It's quite comprehensive. On the replay, I'm going to see if I can just do a run at different different screens. Like here's a missile screen. So I'm going to try to do like a run 300. Okay, so once again, we have to run load. And we aren't really allowed to break the program to play around with it. But I'll see if I can go right to here on an earlier page. We had a definition of what all the here we go. Ship screen 740 to 1120 is the tank screen. Actually, I'm supposed to have a laser that I didn't know about it. Gee, it helps to read the docs, don't it? Now, the laser only works while you're in the air.
Can you kill the tank with the laser?
Well, I'll give the old college try here. Oh,
Ah,
missed. Oh, wait. That ain't fair. Yeah, your guy you're trying to rescue always shows up at the left side of the screen. Apparently he doesn't know that. Apparently the tank doesn't know my guy's there. So you do have some.
So are you having some delay issues due to the capture device? Is that part of the problem?
Possibly. Or it could be I'm just inept. I think I'll go through this program later and figure out if there's a way to turn off that pesky tank. But since I've got to rerun load to get the screen back, this might. So any questions? Anybody on chat or anything?
chat.
No questions as of yet. We've got Who Am I 999s there currently watching and commenting. Just thanking you for your commitment and passion.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go back a page here in the book. Okay, line 830. Yeah, see, what I have to do is I not only have to, if I edit a line, I got to save the program. And I don't want to really save it as the same name. I want to give it a different name. But the load program will also want to always load the original joystick program. And so I'd have to rewrite the load program and save that under a different name, like load 2. And the joystick program, probably call it joystick 2. And edit it out. But if you wanted to, yeah, you could cheat. And you could go through, he tells you exactly what line generates a tank, which one is the tank trying to shoot down the chopper, which one is the machine gun firing. It'd be sort of funny to turn to just rem out the statement with the main gun firing and the machine gun firing, so we could actually get to the next screen, which is where I've picked up all 5 men, and I'm flying out to the ship to try to land on the fantail. But you can do it. He has described every line in this program and documented what every line is doing. So this book is invaluable. It's a tutorial. It was designed to be a tutorial. Here's all your character definitions, all your sprite definitions. So your numbers, your alphabet, explosion, your running man is made up out of 4 sprites put together but magnified. Various gunshots, your helicopter, flying left, hovering, flying right, straight at you when it's stopped on the ground. Your soldier.
Provided in the documentation, general sprite maps.
Yeah, your tank image. And again, another fine program from Miller's Graphics. It probably originally came on disc. I have here on my disc, I cut out the page of the catalog and I taped it to the disc jacket, which is what I would usually do. So whenever I took this disc out of storage, I could look at it and say, oh, this is what this program is, and this is what it does. So I don't get a disc and load it in. I go like, gee, I thought this program did something different. And I could look right at this label and go, no, this is what this program says it does. So excuse me, let me get back to my notes here. So this is a game you can play around with. Now we're going to select the other helicopter versus tank battle game, MASH. When this came out, there was some concern on the parent company that wrote this game that some parents might not want their kids playing a shoot 'em up or anything that implied violence or such. When you consider that the movie and TV show MASH was all about treating people medically who had been shot up or wounded, it was sort of silly. But we'll press the any key here.
Welcome to Korea.
So we have some of these voice here. So now you have your options on MASH. Welcome to Korea, December 31st, 1952. You have rescue with tank fire and surgery. Or you can have a rescue with a ceasefire and surgery. You can have a rescue only with tank fire, no surgery. Rescue only with ceasefire, surgery only, which is like playing Operation. You can have 2-player, 1-player. Well, let's go through the default here. 2 players are arrow keys for game and player selections. Press fire to begin. Press aid for help. All right, we'll do that first. Function 7. Helpful hints for MASH Rescue. Player 1, Hawkeye, is a red copter and uses the red landing pad at base. Player 2, Trapper, is the blue copter and the blue landing pad. To take off or land the copter, hold fire button and move joystick up or down. To rescue a man, put the shadow of the copter on the man and land the copter. So press aid for more help. Copter must return to base and land on its designated landing pad when it has rescued 5 men. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Remove as many pieces of shrapnel as possible. The shrapnel will follow the movements of the scalpel. Once the tip of the scalpel touches the shrapnel. So here's your letter keys. Player 1, player 2.
Oh, so it's multiple player by keyboard, huh?
Or joystick, I believe.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting. You don't see as many of the multiple player keyboard driven games. They're a little, I guess, joystick is ideal, but.
Oh, did they use the split keyboard? Yeah, there's not many games where you got both players are hands on the keyboard, so this is rare that they made it flexible for that. Okay, so we'll take joystick number 1 and press fire. Okay, now here we've got, this is a demo screen. And just like the baseball and tennis games, to simulate something that's in the air, they put a shadow underneath it. So the higher it is above the playing field, it's a forced perspective here, the bigger the distance between the on-screen object, in this case a helicopter, and its
Yeah,
shadow.
it's also interesting that the rescuees are shown in different positions. Some are lying down, some are kind of standing up and waving their arms. I wonder if there's any scoring difference for that.
Yeah. So according to this, you notice what I'm doing. I'm going anywhere through the on top of the patient's body. But I'm not allowed to go through the patient's body. I have to go through.
Sew him up.
Oh, jeez.
Attention, all personnel. Incoming wounded.
Yeah, I think I had played either this game or a game like it with a surgery option like that, sort of a manipulated maze game. I think I was only particularly good at murdering patients.
Choppers. Report to surgery.
So once again, I got 29 seconds to operate. So you try to rescue as many guys as you can here.
Ouch.
So I just lost a patient there because I ran the piece of shrapnel.
I give up.
I can't seem to get this one out. Again, I could always use it as an excuse. All right.
Right, delay, lag, and the quality of your joystick, right?
So let's try to set up something a little easier
Welcome
here.
to Korea.
Let's try it with a ceasefire where I'm not being shot at by a damn tank all the time. Press fire to begin. Okay. So you got to get my shadow on him, press the fire button to either take off or land. And a guy up here.
Attention, all personnel. Incoming wounded.
I thought I'd have surgery here.
Did you not land properly or something? Or you missed it?
I don't know. Let's try
What did they
picking
say?
up this guy here.
Five patients, and then you have to bring them back.
Attention, all personnel.
Land properly on your appropriate path.
You know what? It might be, it might be I set it up for 2-player. Let's see what the options are.
Welcome to Korea.
Oh, yeah. See, it's set up for 2-player. That's why we never went to the hospital. So we can have
Just
rescue.
waiting for the other player to complete a round
Yeah.
of rescue.
Rescue only with tank fire. That's why I never went to surgery. Now we got it. 1 player. Well, let's fail.
Report to surgery.
Oh, I was afraid of that. Wait a minute. What happened there?
Nurse, sew him up.
Of course, all these patients look the same.
Butterfingers.
Yeah, it seems like maybe some type of proportional input device would do a better job than just a digital joystick on this.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's spoiled now because now we got like
Yeah, we got analog sticks and other types of proportional input that are now commonplace today,
Yeah.
right?
or sticks that have the spinner dial on them.
Yeah. Did the TI have any type of joystick-like compatible proportional control? Either like some type of PWM, pulse width modulated.
I think it predated anything like that.
40 years ago, this was pretty cutting edge
Yeah.
Well,
and pretty exciting too, if you remember.
so here's one of my favorite surgery games here.
That's
Is
nice.
microsurgeon.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about this is you have a little robotic submarine operating tool that's inside this patient. And you got various things like these little green thingies here are bacteria. You got black stuff that's tar that shows up in the lungs and liver and kidneys and stuff like that. When you go into the chest cavity, you hear the patient breathing. You got these white blotches that are cholesterol, and every once in a while a virus shows up. And the on-screen nurse here, who's on the screen right now, she'll say virus, virus. The man who programmed this, his last name was Levine. So we got to have a shout-out Easter egg where the nurse pages him as paging Dr. Levine. There we go. Virus shows up. So now you have 3 treatments on this.
Well, that's surely better than paging Dr. Howard, Dr. Flynn, Dr. Howard, right?
Yeah. You have 3 treatments. You have a laser beam. You have, oh, see, he's got tapeworms too. You got a laser beam. You have ultrasound. And for the virus, you have aspirin. Now, what's difficult on playing this game with one joystick is as you move the joystick around, your little robot doctor there moves and also fires the laser or the ultrasound or the aspirin in the direction that you're moving. However, this game supports 2 joysticks. One for moving the robot doctor, the other for discharging the medicine. So if I had a fixture to hold both joysticks, I could be moving around the doctor with one and firing the laser or whatever in any direction I wanted. Up, down, left, right, behind me, anywhere. So we're going to start this. Okay, press 8 for help. Now you see that we have enter patient number 0 to 999. So you can try playing patient 0, which I found is a tough patient. And I really haven't found an easy patient yet. Because you look at those black arrows in the lower left part of the screen, and you see he's in bad shape. You want to get those arrow lines down to 0. They represent how badly he's infected. So press 0 to 999. Well, let's try 999 and press enter. You can press difficulty too. You're a student, an intern, or a surgeon. In the upper right part of this screen here, it tells you what organ you're in, the lungs, and it shows your little robot submarine there in a magnified grid. So I'll press 0.
Patient is ready for microsurgery, doctor.
So I can move my little robot submarine here. You completely missed everything there. Let's get some of this tar out of here. So the infection's pretty bad right now. We'll go ahead south.
Robot probe entering spleen.
Here's his intestines. Then we gotta get up to his
Robot
brain.
probe entering kidney.
I seem to have lost north here. I seem to have lost this patient. Excuse me, I'm going to have to restart it.
You're a hell of a surgeon.
But see, now we can get the same patient again. I press in that seat number.
Patient is ready for microsurgery, doctor.
Now, if you want to, you could just zip right down. The infection's bad.
Virus.
So you can resurrect the patient, huh?
Sort of.
Robot probe entering kidney. Robot probe entering intestine.
Okay, this program is hanging. I try to change the screen here, and so this is not perfect. The game works fine. I really like this game. Apparently, this copy is corrupted. It's not a good one to try to demonstrate. But I have more than... If my menu here looks confusing, it's because I loaded every possible combination of games I could find. There, we got J, Microsurgeon. Every file I could find that would load onto the final GROM SD card. in different menus here. Some of these menus are flawless. Everything works fine. Others are a little buggy.
Patient is ready for microsurgery, doctor.
Now, see this? He goes down. I don't know if I'm doing
Robot
some.
probe entering kidney. Robot probe entering intestine.
There we are. So now I'm able to zap the,
Robot
there.
probe entering intestine.
Now notice those. This guy's got a bad infection. I
Robot
gotta get
probe
these.
entering intestine. Virus.
Okay, I managed to hit number 3, which is the aspirin, and I took care of that virus. But we still got a bad infection here.
Robot probe entering kidney. Robot probe entering spleen.
No, I'll just get right above these. Yeah, so if you want to play doctor, haha. This guy moving right to left there, that's a white blood cell. You don't want to zap them. Let's head north.
Robot probe entering lung.
We still got a bad infection problem here. We're gonna go to 1 again. Yeah, that squeal's me shooting my own white blood cells here. So we got the breathing sound of the lungs. This looks like a stomach here. That was a piece of cholesterol in the circulatory system.
Robot probe entering heart.
Yeah, here's your heart here.
Virus.
Ah, got that virus. Still got an infection here.
Patient Dr. Levine.
So for these green bacterias, you want to use antibiotics, which is key number 2. And you notice how the bacteria is moving around. You move faster if you go through the circulatory system rather than trying to pilot through the cell walls. there in the upper right part of the screen is how much money you have to do this operation. So you see we only got $66 left. I forget what we started with. This is 1985 money. So we can go up through the neck. Sure you recognize this. The jaw, the teeth, the nose,
Robot
the eye.
entering frame.
For $66.
This patient's getting his $66 worth.
For $66, you can only get about a haircut today.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to trade in my.
remember some bills
Robot
when
power low.
at times when my mother, other elders were in the hospital when they had to like clip their toenails or something, and it was
Oh gosh.
ridiculous.
Yeah, went to buy a car last week and trade in my old one. The dealer asked me if the tank was full or empty. So. So again, Microsurgeon, a fun game. Boy, since I've had this game, I've wanted to set it up with 2 joysticks, so I can move in one direction and easily fire in any other direction without moving, spoiling the shot. Game over. Press back. Press enter. Let's look at patient 998.
Patient is ready for microsurgery.
Oh, geez. This guy's almost gone. Here, I'll show you what patient 0 looks like.
Patient is ready for microsurgery, doctor.
Oh, okay. I guess patient 0 is not that bad. You got $399 for research funds.
Patient is ready for microsurgery, doctor.
And see, going from patient 0 to patient 1, how bad this guy is. You've got such a intestinal parasites there, worms. You can see them squiggling around. Kidney, gallbladder. Next one's the heart's in bad shape. I'll give the old college try. Oh wait, it's actually running.
Robot probe entering kidney.
There. Now I'm in a artery. See how it slows down when you're not in a blood vessel. Okay.
Condition is critical.
So it says the heart's in bad shape. What's wrong? Well, it's not the heart. Nothing's in the heart. But look at the lungs. You got all this cholesterol that's built up in the blood vessel. I think I'm losing this guy's intestines. But anyway, a fun game. Lower right corner, you see the IV drip bottle contracting, or is that a breathing device? The nurse walks in once in a while, makes an announcement. Any questions on that?
That's your idea of a fun game. Let's play, what was it, Leather Goddess of Phobos or something? That's a fun game.
Okay, yes. I just don't have that loaded up here.
But
Okay, let me get my. The only problem with having something like this compact flash or this Finalgram is knowing what I have. So I have to have one of my loose leaf binders, and this one has 1,230 discs on it, just to just to run. So okay, so the Nano PEB, I had a compact flash before, and I traded it in. I got a Nano PEB. You change disks. It has 3 virtual drives. You change the disk that's in the drive by first removing the disk that's currently in it. So I want to put a new disk in drive number 2. So I tell it call mount, unmount 2. Now I want to mount a new disk into disk number 2. So I tell it to call mount in number 2, 1226. You can try loading a new disk on top of an old one, but it doesn't guarantee that it's going to clear out all the data that's on the old disk. A lot of people get away with it, probably if it's a small disk. But if you've got something big, double-sided or whatever, then you might have problems with it. Okay, do a buy. And for convenience, I go to RXB and I load up the menu version, press D for directory, just press 2, I don't have to type in disk. Ah, okay. This is all our from Graphics Environment Manager. Okay, I have to load the XB256 module first. So where did we stash that last time? Skewed, new files. No, I had it around here somewhere. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Graphics Environment Manager was a comprehensive program that would easily load 40 column, 80 column, the missing link, or the graphic adventures split screen, where the top part of the screen is a graphic and the bottom part is text. Real handy stuff. So we'll load the XB256, and it just automatically loaded Night Mission. And I should have written down what the program name was, because I tried loading the wrong program here. So get back to RXB, disk 2, I'll write it down, FN demo, gem dem. Let me write these down, excuse me here. I have to apologize to the guys at CTIUG. It's been a long time since I have been on there to check out what's been going on. Tools, RxB, Plato, there was what, new files? And D, 2021, no. Now what was the one I was just on? Darn it, identify all new games, classics, CTIUG. No, I didn't see Gem there. What we're looking for is XB256. G-Test XB. Yeah, Test XB. So we'll load XB256. And it could run a spectrum of different operating systems. Okay. Okay, simple counting program. We're on disk 2. And yeah, it's all garbled up because we got night mission in disk 1, and it automatically tried to run it. Okay, here's 40 column mode. Here's 80 column mode. I have a 80 column device, the F18. It can run, go right from XB256, XB40, XB80 to the missing link and draw all sorts of stuff. And then go back to TI Extended Basic. Okay. There we go. So that's displaying all the characters you have available in TI Extended Basic. Then it goes to XB or to XB256 and shows you all the extra characters you have in XB256 that you don't have in TI Basic or Extended Basic. Again, your 40 column mode, your 80 column mode, and the missing link. Now careful you don't break the program while it's demoing the missing link, because you're still in missing link mode and things will not work correctly. So this too. Okay. And it's loading the missing link from drive number 2. The light's blinking here. And we got this back. Let's see what this is. We'll run it. Oh, okay. So the missing link does all sorts of stuff. You can create windows. You can place your text anywhere on the screen. You can manipulate graphics, turtle graphics, spike graphics, a clock. Um, okay. This is the one I was looking for. So you can quickly get into the missing link here into the graphics mode and do stuff. So we are now in the standard graphics mode usually used by Extended Basic. Enter the angle to be used in drawing a poly spiral. Well, let's say we want 90 degrees. So this will draw a spiral that's like 2 pixels long every time it draws it, expanding from the center of the screen out to the end. And of course, the whole idea of fun with the TI with logo graphics like this is, say like you enter something besides an 89. Well, now you get your rotating graphics and such like that. Anybody have a suggested number?
$69.
Okay. Well, this drew an 18-degree spiral. And it only leaves it up on the screen. This is a simple demonstration program on how quick, we're in TI basic, extended basic mode right now. And we go instantly into the missing link mode and then back in. So you wanted 69 degrees, okay. And there we go. There. So it's an easy way of playing with 115 degrees. Easy way to play with stuff like this. The same thing as in Logo or Logo 2. Instead of writing a procedure. Now this is so tight, we're starting to get the TI artifacts here, where you start getting some dots and such. That was 120 degrees. $175.
Try a very small number, like say 4 or 5. See what that looks like.
Well, this does so many iterations, and then it just goes right off the screen. If you add 10 to it, there you go. That's what it was doing, but on a highly magnified scale. Yeah, I took that one gem demo where it said, here's the missing link, and it drew that triangle. And I said, hey, excuse me, I could have fun playing with this. 45, 50 degrees. Yeah, it's only ever drawing stuff where it curves to the right. $350 degrees. Yeah, again, that thing went just about off the scale. And yeah, 1, it's going off the screen. I think I can get a 360. Oh, there it is. It came back. I can only imagine how big of a... there's 0. Okay, I came back pretty quick. Yeah, so you're better off with stuff in the middle of the road here. There's 180. It's just going back and forth, drawing a line there. $185. Yeah, so you can get all your logo, all your missing link type spiral patterns. Here's what this is for. Get another disc here. So you see here we got a whole bunch of different extended basics to go for. They each have their advantages here. Here, let's try configure the missing link. Again, we're in missing link mode here. Colors, 16 colors, 1 disk file. And I don't have a demonstration program to run. This would show like the top part is a graphical adventure, and the bottom part was a text. Let's do a directory here. Okay, this was supposed to be a sprite demo program, and I'm not quite sure where that is. Try to load the load program off of drive number 1. This should be the Jim Peterson's nuts and bolts demo. What his nuts and bolts were very many sub-programs that you can merge into your own program to do tricks, like this diagonal display of Tiger Cub software, drawing a border around your screen, displaying a title. And you could call them. So instead of having to, do a go to. It's just like every command in basic or extended basic, and you would call it. And he had the most marvelous things. You could really spice up a program. This four-way wipe. Two-way. Have your statements print from the middle of the screen out to the end. Call slant if you want italics. Wipe the screen. This is running a tad fast. Easy to use, type merge disk file name to merge it into your program, then call them the same way. Jim had extensive documentation on this that explained every one of these subprograms and what they did. And they're usually only a few lines long. Okay, this one, you can call sound or call curtain. So here's the curtain descending. Consecutive line number from 20,000 to 2,700. Yeah, it's unlikely you would write a program that would go up to 20,000. Here's one that deletes the text from the top down. So if we want to program an extended basic, while Craig Miller did wonderful things with sprites and displays and shots, calling coincidence. Here's other stuff you could use. Here's what I use, this large character. I use this subprogram for creating the TI color bar screen that you see every month that has today's date and what it is. Okay, here's one. You can do different character sets for different fonts. So here's the Russian character set. And the Mongolian character set. Yeah, the Tiger Cub software library was pretty extensive from every public domain freeware or shareware program he could find. He always put credit on every disk of who created that disk. This lowercase lines up true lowercase letters with the rest of your text. And they're true lowercase, they're not just miniature versions of the TI capital letters. So that's called big character. And crawl. So that call crawl, yeah, if you wanted to say write your name that would go across the screen from right to left, the way you read, yeah, that would be the one you would use. Another wipe. So we have this demo disk, and then we have the actual disks with the merge format subprograms in them. And then we have the disk with the documentation that explains them all. Level 49. So this might be helpful if you want to put stuff on the screen to know where it's going to wind up, the screen grid. Call quit disables the function equal key, so you don't accidentally quit a program. Calling verse reverses the colors of the text on the screen. Tells you what line you're on. High score with a fanfare. Dimension major scale will set up a 3-octave major scale, whatever key, A through G, is specified by K string. Dimension N21, and call minor scale. In dimension N, call scale K string N sets up a 3-octave chromatic scale. Okay, we're going to break that. Remove this disk from drive 1, and I'll put another one in. Reset the final ground. Nope, that's not the one I want. Hi. My granddaughter's visiting. Here, try to load Disk Manager. Oh yeah, this is a pleasant color. Right. Let's go to miscellaneous utilities. Change foreground color. There we go. White on dark blue usually works pretty good. Okay. Data, load. Let's look at nut and bolt docs number 1. And this will display it. Now what's handy about this display is it's 40 column, or what, 38 column. So you can actually see this on a regular TI. Okay, so here's different fonts displayed. Now everything's alphabetical order here. So that big character is called big character message string, character row column. A message string is the text to be displayed. CH is the lowest character to be redefined. R and C are starting row and column of print, and will slowly display text of up to 14 characters in heavy and large letters. Allow 4 characters below ASCII 144 and above the ASCII of any character message string for each character message string. It also enlarges previously redefined characters and can be used together with slant, Mongolian, etc. So 100 called big character, quote, TI-99-4A, and then the row columns. Big character 2 is similar. Character face will rectified the lowercase characters ASCII 97 to 122 to a stylized uppercase character set 2, inverse. So these are all the subprograms called large character. They're on the Tiger Cub nuts and bolts disk number 1, the actual merge format subprograms. Call Mongolian, Call Russian, Scrunch. We've seen these. We've just seen them. Slant. Hang on. Got to press the right button. Get back to RXB. Okay, that's interesting, because it looks like I no longer have my utilities disk in drive number 3. Excuse me a minute here. Let me look this up. Do a directory. There we go. So just wanted to show you a practical application. Loaded. So this is the program we run for displaying our title screen for our meetings. And here you can see the big character redefining the letters on the screen from standard to the large. So after breaking that program, then listing it, 100 is a reminder for me to edit lines 230 and 1490 for date and the attending members. Line 110 starts out the state of Texas. So I had to do this the hard way, drawing it on screen and seeing what sort of looked like the state of Texas on the TI color bar screen. Okay, here's line 230, REM display text. So here's the text I wanted to display, Chicago TI 9948 home computer. The next line, users group. Notice there's no commas or apostrophes because I've already redefined those for something else. And so I would have to redefine something to use as a comma or an apostrophe. Display at 16/1, June 18th, 2022. Display at 23/1, virtual online meeting. And this might be a good time to ask Hal and James, after summer break, when are we going to have our next meeting? Because as you know, this is our last scheduled meeting before summer break.
Well, let me grab a calendar.
So I see here June, July, August, September. We got September 3rd is the first Saturday. We got October 1st as the first Saturday, and November 5th as the first Saturday. So for when we're going to be holding our scheduled meetings and such.
Well, September the 3rd, that's Labor Day weekend, and we have traditionally avoided trying to have a meeting on Labor Day weekend because it's a 3-day weekend. You go out of town, I think. Sometimes we do. So perhaps if we move it back a week to September the 10th, that might be better.
All right. Yeah, I got 3 different computers, and when you pull up the calendar, not a damn one of them ever shows holidays on them. It's very vexing, having to go over to a printed paper calendar to find out when there's a holiday. Okay, so it's September 10th.
That's what I'm doing now.
1, 2, 3 weeks later would be October 1st.
Yeah, that works better.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I walked away for a moment. What are we discussing?
Go ahead, Hal.
Well, we're talking about when the first meeting of the new season in September is, and we mentioned that September 3rd, which is the first Saturday, is also Labor Day weekend, and sometimes people are out of town for Labor Day weekend. So that if we move it back to the 10th, that might be a little more advantageous for everybody.
Okay, keep in mind the 10th is also that weekend is the Vintage Computer Festival Midwest.
So
I may be there. Maybe we could do something jointly. I don't know.
Could we do it from there again?
We could try.
Okay. Let me ask you this: where is it going to be this year?
Same place out in Elmhurst.
Okay.
It was last year.
Okay.
I think the moral of that story is let's not meet up for lunch off-site because we had such a parking problem when we got back.
Yeah, that was difficult. Maybe we could, I don't know, pack a picnic lunch or something and get there early, and I don't know.
Grab some squat space in the lounge area, or
yeah, we might also
or wherever there's some seating.
Yeah, I could. Let's see. I don't know how that would work out. You could walk around somehow transmitting, showing.
Tried to do that with limited success.
Yeah, that maybe just
depend on the facility's internet access, or the local, cellular broadband. And neither, when you have, a few hundred people, all with cell phones and all with a bunch of exhibitors trying to connect things to the internet.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
I was going to say I could bring a hotspot and we could walk around with that, but.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my phone has data on it, so that's sort of the minimal option. The only thing I hate about my phone is the camera is kind of fussy in the sense that it likes to constantly autofocus.
Yeah.
No setting to override that. Thank you, Samsung.
Well, that's a consideration, and I suppose we have a little time to work that out. We're starting to get into June here. It's in the wintertime, I go through months with absolutely nothing to do, and then in the summertime, it seems like there's 6 things on every weekend.
Did you end the stream?
What's that?
I was asking Vic if he's ended the stream. I don't see any data.
I did not understand you, James.
Did you stop streaming at this point?
No, no.
Because I don't see anything coming over, but like it shut down. Maybe it's just me.
No, it's not.
It's got an excellent connection, so I
I
don't know.
just
if
went to our
something's
connection,
with-
and let me go to YouTube.
No, I think it's something on my end.
I think it's at your end.
I exited the studio display mode and went back in, and it seems
Oh,
to be
okay.
streaming. So
Yeah,
I think
because I'm showing as the
maybe Google was getting upset with me because I hadn't touched the interface in a while.
mm-hmm.
And it booted me out for whatever reason.
Your camera is not on.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I mean, if we want to do a joint event at the Vintage Computer Festival Midwest on the 10th, that's always an option. I'm not sure if I'm exhibiting this year once again. So I don't know if I'll have dedicated table space, but I'm sure we can find some space. And, once again, as you said, just walking around pointing a camera at stuff of interest is always a good way to spend time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun place to be, and it's a bit of a haul from here, but it's once a year, and it is. Last year I picked up a couple of interesting items, including this this case that I have around my iPad, and picked up some Cat5 cables and a couple more things like that. All the giveaway stuff is really interesting. There was just tons of stuff there. I didn't know what it was, but
Yeah.
maybe I can bring some of the old boards and stuff I've got and give them away so that somebody else take them.
You can always populate some of the free pile. I'm
Yeah.
sure someone might find something in your collection of stuff of interest.
Oh yeah, I've got a ton of crap that and it's non-TI, so I don't mind getting rid of some of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an idea. Now that leads us into October, which is the first Saturday is the 1st. How does that work for everybody?
Let me.
Go ahead, Vic. Sorry.
Oh, let me get a calendar here. I'm sorry, James. October 1st, yeah, that ought to be okay. And then the first Saturday after that is November 3rd.
Right, and that'll be the weekend following the fair, right? Or no, that'll be the
Yeah.
No, I take that back. It's the other way around, right? The fair is at the end of October, not the beginning.
Yeah, the fair is on the 29th of October, and so we should be recovered by the first week in November.
Yeah.
The fair right now, I haven't promulgated any information or anything about it. Now,
So
all
do I
of
have
this,
the fair and then have our TI meeting a week later?
well, we can make that decision whether or not that will be
Right,
the
whether
November
there's a
meeting.
substitute for our November meeting.
Mm-hmm.
If any of our international visitors are still in town, they might like to be part of a meeting, even a remote meeting.
Yeah, and
Now-
then hopefully maybe by that time we'll be able to meet in the library again too. For that
Yeah. What's interesting about all of this is that we are all dependent upon something we can't control, which is one, the pandemic, and two, the damn library. They make up their own rules. They've changed their operating hours. They still are requesting, not demanding, but requesting a mask when you walk in the building. And so they have rules where you can order your books online. They get delivered down to the first floor. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I haven't been up on the third floor where we normally meet in a long time, and I haven't asked in the past month or so whether or not more than 2 people are allowed in any of the meeting rooms. I'll have to, of course, research that.
Yeah,
We
I
have
haven't had a chance to look at this month's restrictions. I know in the past it's been limited to 2 people.
Yeah, they've pretty much done away with. A month ago or 3 weeks ago, Evanston was in not exactly lockdown mode, but high
Transmission rate.
concentration of COVID, whatever that's called, and so they were starting to reimpose mask mandates on some of the businesses, some of the local businesses, and the local businesses were a little upset, but some of them were imposing a mask requirement themselves, simply because they wanted to stay open, and the bars and restaurants in particular wanted to
Yeah, they don't want to have to
avoid
deal
being
with
told.
their personnel having to take off 5 to 10 days every week.
Yeah.
Or every other week, having
So
take long.
we're now once again, Evanston is now once again in low mode, so that's good. We have so many students. We have a large student population here, and when they come into town, they bring in whatever is in their area with them, and it is. We were just over at graduation, or my wife was. At least I was. I was sick as a dog last Sunday. Our nephew came to town to look Northwestern over as a possible place to go to school next year. But it was graduation day, and the graduation groups were being split up into small groups. They didn't want. They were graduating by discipline, by college, if you will. English majors and then the math majors and all. They weren't bringing them all together into the at the same time, trying to keep the organizations spread out. And the same thing when we went down for my granddaughter's graduation from high school last month. They had people sitting separated in the grandstand of the football stadium. They had, and even when they marched in with the students, they had them spread out, and they were sitting, with the spaces between them and all. And all that broke down, of course, at the end of the ceremony. They all jumped into the middle of the field, and all the parents and everybody else came rushing into the thing. And I thought, yeah, here we go. All we need now is another outbreak. But yeah, it's a consideration, and nobody knows. They're talking now about a third booster shot.
Mm-hmm.
Before I went in for surgery, I had to go through for each individual procedure. For the CAT scan, I had to go and get a COVID test. For the surgery itself,
Probably every
I had
time
to
you
get
were in and out of
another COVID test, and this went on for several weeks. At the hospital, you still have to be masked, and even the emergency room wanted you to wear a mask into the emergency room,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody sitting in the emergency room was masked up. And when they finally released me, again I had to be wheeled out in a wheelchair, and everybody had to wear a mask. And so yeah, it just it's one of those things we can't control, and it's a little tough to make plans 2 or 3 months. What's the phrase? We make plans and God laughs, and that's about it. We'll just have to make the plans and hope that they work out. If they don't work out, then we go to plan B and C and D, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, let's just
So-
have hopeful thoughts that we won't have too much complication for the fair, and maybe we'll be able to get back to some level of normalcy, even if we have to wear a mask.
Yeah, and that's basically not the worst of it. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be a lot worse. People could get sick and die from this stuff. So let's plan then on September going to the Vintage Computer Festival, and in October then the 1st, and the fair on the 29th. And then at that point, at some point, we can make a decision about November, et cetera, et
Yeah, that
cetera.
sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. So we've still got some time. Vic, what do you got planned for us?
Okay, well, I'm running Skyscape right now. And what's interesting about this astronomy program is you can enter any year, any month, any date, any time of the day.
Well, we are coming up on the summer solstice, right?
Yeah.
No. Tomorrow was supposed to be summer solstice, where everybody in the world goes sailing that day. And I wish I was one of those people, but my boat is still on the hard, being worked on. And anyway.
Okay, we're getting better here. I'm almost got the right time. So for today's date, at 9 o'clock this morning, this is the sky that would have looked like if you could see into outer space. So as they've said on the news reports, all the planets are going to be lined up in a row. So it's either like 2001: A Space Odyssey, where the aliens show up, or something like that. But going from left to right here, we've got the sun is the asterisk. That diamond is Mercury. And then you have Venus and Mars. Kudos to Paul McCartney. Are next. Venus on top. And no, that's not Mars. That's Uranus. Then the next is Mars. And then Jupiter. And then Saturn. Okay, so yeah, they're starting to line up. This is a program I think I'll try running Henry Wilhelm's compiler on this. I don't know if it's going to speed up the math routines in this, because it's quite a number cruncher for an extended basic program. But as you can see at the bottom of the screen, your hotkeys are time, your planetary table, your date, and your latitude. So it's about 45 degrees is where that horizontal line is. Zenith is straight up, and the equator is there at the bottom. In the red bar are your astronomical zodiac signs. So we have Gemini, Taurus, Aries, Pisces, and Aquarius. Below that is your compass heading, east, southwest. You can go into negative numbers on your latitude here if you're below the equator. And if you get the time just right, you can actually see Halley's Comet shows up. Although I forget exactly what time of the day and what month, day, and year that was. So I missed it when it showed up last time. Actually,
I think the last time was 1986, because Mark Twain, who was born in the year of the comet, predicted he would go out in the year of the comet. And that was 1910, I believe. So it would have been 1986 again. And what's that? It's going to be a while. It'll be 76 years. So you do the math. I'm an English major, but we're about halfway there. I'd like to see it again.
Yeah, that's about all I've got for this time around. I know it's got to be dull as hell going through page by page on Night Mission, where every page is explained. But I'll see if I can post that program online, a link to the Dropbox where it's at. And the same thing with the scan of the book. I think that was on the Western Horizon. Has scans of most of the books. Ernie Pergram also has many, many scans of stuff that I didn't know existed. So,
Vic, I have to tell you that I disagree with your statement about it being dull. I have learned more in the last couple of months and understood more than I have for many, many, many years previously. I think you do an excellent job, and I'm not trying to brown nose here, but I really have learned a lot that I should have known 40 years ago, and kind of kicking myself for not having actually studied it properly a long time ago, and have been able to understand a lot of what I've been using for all those years. It's so anyway, yeah, that's
well,
that's all
nice
for me.
to hear, Hal. That's why I try to shift gears, because nothing's duller than watching somebody else play a video game. But to see what's behind it, like last month with the Smart Programming Guide for Sprites, where Craig Miller had his complex algebraical formula to combine scanning the keyboard or scanning the joystick, moving a sprite, checking for coincidence, stuffing everything all together was wonderful. And we have an advantage here that most people on YouTube don't. They have like a 5 or 10 minute presentation. They'll show one subject or one game or something like that. And we can go for 2.5 hours on something.
Yeah.
So we can get into a technical base here and get into more detail. With the other people online, they do an excellent job of reviewing games and stuff where you've only heard about it and you'd love to see what it looks like or how to play it or something like this. I've had Night Mission for how long, and I didn't know that there was a laser that the helicopter could fire at that pesky tank. But now that I know where the tank is at, I might just delete the call coincidence on that shot he makes and watch it. I'd be Superman being vulnerable and be able to cheat, not have it affect me.
I know the feeling. What is the one that I'm trying to think of the guy's name? I've lost so much memory of late, in particular. The one where you eliminate certain rows of color and all. I set them all to one color and then press the button. Boom! They all go away. And that's my
that's
idea.
Like a mahjong game. I believe for the TI it was called Clickety. That was introduced at a fair.
Some sort of breakout style game.
Yeah, and you could have it be 3 colors, 4 colors, or 5 colors.
Or one color.
Yeah, you just press one key.
Yeah. Zero Zap is my favorite game. In that all I have to do is press the key and it does the whole thing by itself, and I just sit back and listen to the music. And I'm not a gamer. I admit I'm not a gamer.
I think we've got that here.
I like utilities. I like things that will help me, especially with printing and some graphics, creating graphics, things like that, like Picasso and Page Pro and some of these other utilities. That's my thing. And most of the games are too damn hard for me to play. I'm too old guy, you know.
Well, I have a Vectrex game machine, and actually it's right here on this table. And one of my cartridges I got for it is a Shades of the TI with like the final ground. The putting everything in one cartridge is a multi-cart that has everything on it. And then this next cartridge I got is, let me get the screen here, is this one called Hacked. And this is the original 28 games for the Vectrex, but you can't lose. You never get that you've lost your last life, game over, play again. No, it just keeps letting you load yet another player character and just keep playing it. So I go like, oh yeah, that's a nice addition. I wish I had that when I first got this machine. Oh
Yeah. Speaking of games and complexity and things like that, have we figured out yet how we leave this Jitsi? Have we? And yeah, my other question is, what is this red? What is this big red thing at the end of the bottom here? Is that how we sign? I'm afraid to press anything until someone tells me what it does. But I know that it's been on ever since I loaded it, hours before we went on the air. Any suggestions, Jim or Vic?
that might be how you log off. I'd leave it alone. It might be an indication that's showing that you're live and it's actually working.
Whatever it is, it seems to be a mystery here. I haven't pressed it yet, nor am I going to until someone tells me what it does. Because you know the old function H. If you press function H, yeah, all hell breaks loose. The smoke comes out and stuff like that. And I as it was, I already had to reload this once when it disappeared, and had to go back. And it went to the weather data, climate data tab, and wouldn't leave it, and had to turn the machine off and turn it back on, and et cetera, et cetera. It's no big deal with an iPad. With a computer, it becomes a real big deal with having to boot it up again. And all. You lose 10 minutes.
Okay, here's your favorite game.
Yeah, Zero Zap. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I think you launch a pinball.
If it hits the black one up there, then you lose automatically. But yeah, I always start off in the center.
Slice. Oh, gee.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
You hardly have to do anything besides change your starting position.
That's right. Yeah.
I get your point. Oh, that zero showed up again.
Yeah, it will. As a two-player game, it's really interesting because then the other player starts off, and you know, you just sit back and whoever gets to whatever score you set 999 or whatever wins, and it's a matter of 3 or 4 key presses, and that's it.
Oh, there's rules.
Oh yeah, you can have a cup of coffee or light up a cigarette or something while you're playing the game, and keep your hands free. That's a marvelous game. I love it.
Oh, okay.
John?
You can edit the playing field.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can create the thing in such a way.
So this is not a lazy game review. It is actually a lazy game.
Yeah. You can make it so once you fire it in, it almost is impossible for the thing to get out again, and it just goes on and racks up 600, 700 points. It's
Oh, wow.
yeah, good fun. I mean, it's more work than I usually do. Usually, I just press the key, and away it goes. But yeah, if you wanna have a nice long game and not have to press the key too many times, you set it up in advance, and it took a little experimentation, but one time I got it up to 999 in one key press. Don't play games much anymore. John is not around, and so he and I used to just sit there and play by the hour sometimes. But the love of my life has just returned and brought me an apple fritter.
So here's our signing off logo. Thanks for suggesting Zero Zap to get us a few more minutes and a few more laughs out of this meeting. So it's going to be a long time. It's going to be 60 days till we're back again. James, you want to announce where our next virtual meeting will be held from?
Want a cup of coffee? Would you like a cup of coffee? You want a cup of coffee? Coffee?
Or Hal, do you want to announce where
Okay,
we'll be recording our next virtual meeting?
Okay, it's at the Vintage Computer Festival to be held, I guess, in
Our
Elmhurst.
website bcfmw.org for more details on that if you like.
Okay, Jim's our resident expert on that. Why don't you talk a little bit, Jim, for a moment about what actually is going on there?
So it is largely a gathering of collectors and enthusiasts of classic computers and games and all sorts of other things. Like we even have some telephone nerddom going on there. And it's kind of like a broader version of the TI Fair. In the sense that you're going to see a lot of different systems and different types of technology that people have collected over the years, and just like to get together and show off. And sometimes there's a little bit of a opportunity for people that are working on little pet projects to get together in person and work on them together in person rather than email or other online modes of working on software. And it's generally kind of very party oriented in the sense that it's pretty casual. There are talks and activities, but they're not tightly structured. So you could easily, and most of the talks are recorded as well and posted on YouTube after the show. So even if you miss something in person, it's pretty easy to go back and take a look at it.
And there's a freebie table where people bring
the free pile, as we call it, is a time-honored classic of that show, and that is, if you've got stuff you've got too much of or don't know what to do with, and you think that that someone else might provide a better home, there's sort of that leave an item, take an item mentality. There's also the show garage sales, they're calling it, where maybe there are a few other items that are maybe worth not worth auctioning it off, but worth $1 or $2, and it goes to continue to help fund the show. So, if you're there, definitely stop by and at least take a look at that stuff. And then there is an actual auction that takes place. I think in the past there may have been some individuals that were, bidding on items for people that were not at the show. So there might be an avenue for that sort of thing if you're interested in trying to acquire an item. I don't know if there's any sort of real organization around doing that, so you might have to just find somebody, a friend that's attending, and have him bid on stuff, him or her bid on items for you. Once again, that's also another avenue of donation to help fund the show. That usually I'll give, maybe an item of something that I have surplus of to them that I think has a little bit of monetary value and desirability to get auctioned off, and other people do that as well, just to make sure that there's enough money in the kitty to have the next show.
Yeah. It is larger than the fair these days, and it's a multi-day affair as well, I believe.
Yeah, it's 2 days. Often there are some other planned social, not quite, or I shouldn't say planned, but impromptu social activities the night before as people do early load in and set up. Often there are contingents of people that will, go off to dinner on the Friday night. I think there were some people that would, come early and then go to the Galloping Ghost Arcade, which is, I can't think of which suburb that would be, if that's still Elmhurst or if it's, one of the other near neighboring Chicago suburbs, your western suburb.
No. It's not as if you could tell where.
Too, yeah. You've got the time for that to spend a day at Galloping Ghost.
It's not as if you could tell one suburb from another these days. They just all merge together. Yeah.
The borders are not exactly strictly linear in some cases, right?
That's right. Yeah. And then there's the odd unincorporated area sometimes in between.
Yeah. Sometimes they're part of the city. Sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
Or they're not, but they get municipal services from the city.
Or the zip code changes or something, or remains the same in 3 different areas. In Illinois is a little strange about that with townships. For instance, in Evanston, we're in Evanston Township, but Niles, Evanston Township also extends a little bit into Skokie, or Skokie extends in there.
Yeah, so we have all sorts of subdivisions of areas, like even in Chicago we have that. It's like as far as taxing districts go.
That's.
They are typically broader than any one particular neighborhood or sub-community, and often include, other areas that are not necessarily in the big city, but are part of the broader county.
God knows there are so many taxing districts. In fact, Illinois, as a state, has more administrators, more administrations with taxing districts, with water reclamation districts, with mosquito abatement districts, with educational districts than any other state in the nation. And as a result, there are more civil servants, if that's the word, than any other state. And we pay more in pensions to more people for doing basically similar services. It's gotten to the point where Evanston just abolished Evanston Township. There's still an Evanston Township High School. They didn't change the name, but the township of Evanston had 9 officials, 9 administrators who just happened to be exactly the same people as the 9 aldermen in the city of Evanston. So they abolished it, and I think, they saved a few $1,000 or something.
Uh,
But they did away with the only people that ever helped me.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
yeah,
and the
I mean,
township
it's a common
maintains
problem in
6/10
state
of a
of
mile of
Illinois,
road, right?
There's all sorts of
yeah, it's
bureaucracy and taxation, and yet we're still kind of in financially precarious state.
oh yeah, this state, and then um, this state has more corrupt officials than any other state. The I don't know. We send an alderman in Chicago to jail every, what is it, every 6 months or something.
And I know,
And
I
half
used to joke that we sent like every other governor to jail
yeah, yeah,
at some point
yeah,
in time.
yeah. It's
Or so it
uh,
seems in my lifetime at least.
oh yeah, and the ones that haven't been sent to jail are the ones that have died too soon, and where they find the shoebox full of cash and stuff in his closet, and it. I don't know if you serve as Secretary of State in this state and retire and die before you're indicted, it's considered a victory. It's it used to be the most corrupt office in the state, and that it was the one most subject to bribery. Um, and anyway, let's not go into it. Uh,
No, let's not waffle on too much about it. It isn't exactly TI.
no, not exactly. No. So we've decided on the date of the next meeting. We've decided on the date of the um, second meeting and the fair. The only thing we haven't decided on is the date of the picnic and the sale. But that will be decided on by when my boat is back in the water. So I will get in touch with everybody, and as soon as the boat is in the water, and from there on, we can then make a conference call or something, and we can then work out a date for going sailing and having our picnic and that kind of thing. Um,
Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to end the stream now. We can stay on and chat for a little while if you like.
okay, that sounds good. What I'd like to do, I'd like to know what this red thing is. If I press it and I go away, I will try and reload